time to leave you a preview so you too can review what we do. 20 years in this business, how yourself sold, she whiz. People bear witness. Thank you for letting us be ourselves. So don't mind me if I repeat myself. These simple lines be good for your health. To keep them crime rhymes on the shelf. Live, love life like you just don't care. 5,000 leaders never scared. Rain and noise is the moment they feared. Get up, still a beautiful idea. Get up, throw your hands in the air. Get up and show no fear. Get up if y'all really care.
I love that song. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for episode number 3 of the Get Set Tennis Show, our final episode of our very short season. And joining me, as always, is the ever so elegant Reza Thompson. Reza, how you doing today, mate?
Fantastic. Really enjoying Melbourne and looking forward to this episode. Sad, though.
Yeah, something a little bit different for this episode, Rez. What can we expect in episode number 3?
Well, this episode's different. It's more about the coach's corner, as we call it. And to start things off on the coach's corner, we start with our favorite tweener shot, or my favorite tweener shot anyway, is the forward volley tweener. Enjoy.
If you're a tennis fan, you've probably seen Nick Kyrgios pull this one off.
I think anyone in the sport hits it as clean as him.
And it makes the crowd go bananas.
Go bananas! Go bananas! Oh, come on, go bananas!
Am I doing it? Am I doing it?
What's the matter with you guys?
There are 2 main tips that you need to nail this shot, and the first one we stole from cricket legend David Warner. Rez, put the sandpaper away. Sorry. There are 2 main tips you need to nail this shot, and the first one we stole from cricket legend Glenn McGrath. Line and length. The front tweener is all about timing. Line the ball up with the middle part of your body, and length. Make sure the ball is landing directly underneath your body. It's important to remember as well to move your feet, otherwise you may not be successful. It's time to regress now. A little bit of self-feeding can really help build your confidence so that you are capable of using this in a match. When you pull this off, it's more than likely that you'll win the point and look like a hero, so it's important to celebrate like one. Hope you've enjoyed this tip of the week, but for now, it's back to the boys in the studio. Woo!
Well, there you have it, folks. The forward volley tweener. And Buster, what a coach.
Yeah, he does some good things sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking forward to 2020, Nelson, but what are you specifically looking forward to in 2020?
Yeah, 2020, I always like the year kicks off with the Australian Open. It's our home Grand Slam, but it kind of gets everyone going for the whole year above. We've got an Olympics this year too. I can really see some young talent coming through winning a medal. I'd love to see some young players like a Chapo or Dimina take a medal on the stage. But I also think that we're going to see somebody outside the top 3 on the men's side win a Grand Slam. I think it's just inevitable. And on the women's side, I think we're going to start to see a changing game. It's been so dominated by this just stand at the back of the court and just belt balls until...
A bit more variety.
Yeah, I think players like Barty and that who are adding a little bit more chop and slice and coming in the net, I think that's going to be a real mix-up for 2020, which makes for some super exciting tennis. What about you?
Well, I think, I believe that the French Open again, Rafa's going to take that again. Can't see anybody stopping him so hard. Probably going to win the next 5 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Fed can take a Wimbledon title, but I feel like the hard courts, this is the time. The pressure's on this next gen. We both agree with this. And you guys got guys like Tsitsipas, Zverev, the Chapos, the Felix, the Canadian Meltdowns. Those guys, it's their time. They need to sort of step up, and I think they know that, and they're trying. But that aura of those big 3 is kind of hard to break. On the women's side, I totally agree with you. I'm hoping to see some more Australians come through, some really talented players coming through on the women's side for the Aussies. So I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, definitely. Kim Birrell will make a big comeback in 2022.
Oh, go Kimmy.
On the rumour mill, go Kim. Now, guys, if you have been watching the Australian Open over the last couple of weeks, you will notice that there is a wide range of commentators. Some great, some good, some average. We decided to hire our favourite commentator of all time and see if he can do a better job than the professionals. The only thing is, he's 9 years old. Check out Connor.
Can you see my legs moving in the camera? Lights, camera. Is that the kid chucking the coin?
Yes, that's the kid who's chucking the coin. His name is Donald.
Donald Trump?
No, definitely not Donald Trump, buddy.
He did get impeached.
Yeah, I'll do it. You don't have to whisper, buddy. Buddy, welcome to the Get Set channel. I'm here with commentator and tennis expert Connor. Connor, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Really excited to have Connor in the booth. This is actually his 10th time commentating a Roger Federer match. Connor, what is it that makes Roger Federer such a great tennis player?
I have no idea. Why are they all in white?
So there is a rule in Wimbledon where you have to wear all white.
That's weird.
What colour would you wear if you could only wear one colour?
Oh no, I always wear purple.
Purple?
Yeah, it's my favourite colour.
Wimbledon, take notes.
I hope they put on sunscreen. He's won 274 Grand Slams, 43 he's lost. Did you know he was 32?
You ready? Warming up the serve. I bet you one caramel milkshake that Federer will win.
I had cereal for breakfast this morning.
What kind of cereal?
Chicken.
You like chicken, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I didn't even have cereal.
I believe you.
But I'm glad the crowd have hats. Yes.
This is a big point for Federer.
He should serve it at Djokovic.
At the body, good call.
Nice hit, Djokovic.
Just out. Not
How?
far. Well, it didn't hit the line.
I wish Rez would come in with my milkshake.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting a bit thirsty. Ah, Reza.
It's about time.
Connor?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
What'd you get?
Ash Longback. Want some coffee?
I'll pass. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Rexona. If you don't want smelly armpits, then buy Rexona.
I put some on this morning. How about you, Con?
No.
Oh, okay.
Very good milkshake.
And he does it. Roger Federer takes the first set in just over an hour. Connor?
Didn't think he could do it, but he did.
So the tennis player has lots of shots.
Tennis player has lots of shots.
Nice, that's good.
Nice play. Welcome back, folks. I've got a new and improved commentator, Reza. How you doing?
Doing great, buddy. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Are you enjoying the match more or less than your salted caramel milkshake right now?
I'm enjoying this more.
Do you think Nelson would have missed that forehand?
No.
Right.
How long is this going for? Go Djokovic!
You said Federer was trash. He is like one of the greatest players of all time. Yes, good point. How much is left?
I'd like to also thank my brother for wrestling with me and playing with me, and my mum for cooking for me and helping me stay alive.
All mums around the world, thanks for keeping the kids alive.
Thank you, Dad, for going to work and getting money as well as Mum. Testing.
Wow. What happened there?
It hit the top of the net and went over. I think it counts as a fault. Forehand, backhand, forehand.
Who's that guy?
Coach Boris Becker. Serve, forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand.
What is Djokovic's nickname?
Jockey.
No, Connor.
What? So unprofessional. Cut. So
What, in
games, sets.
Yeah.
Do I pause it? Welcome back. Just me now. Got rid of those bunnies. Score is 5-4, 15 to Djokovic. Fault won by Federer. Good rally going on here. Federer just hits it out over the court. Djokovic just chucked his towel at the ball boy. It's too hard. Seriously? I'm hungry. The ball was just out. Rez, go get me a burger.
Connor!
Please. It's 40-15 at Djokovic. Set point. What?
It's championship point.
Championship point to Djokovic. Federer hits it in the net. Djokovic wins. Thanks for joining us. We hope you had as much fun as I did. This is Connor. See you later.
Man. Good job, buddy.
Connor, well done. I could listen to that guy all day, any match.
Yeah, voice of an angel. Connor, Channel 9 will be knocking at your door pretty soon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Jim Courier is shaking in his boots.
Out of a job.
Anyway, great commentators. There's also great coaches out there, and a variety of them as well. And we've been in the Australian Open for a couple of days now, and we've seen the pro players and their relationship with their coaches. So what do you think are some of the things you notice that the pro players receive from their coaches, and what makes you a coach? Yeah,
I think that the tough thing for coaches and players is making sure that they have a successful relationship. And to be able to do so, the coach has to be able to adapt to what the player needs at that particular time. So professional players, there's a lot of stress going on. There's a lot of things. They've got to deal with media. They've got to deal with sponsorship. They've got to deal with playing and training as well. They're not always going to be the bubbly people. We did a seminar with Darren Cahill just after Simona Halep had a bit of a meltdown over in China, and he said that Simona is one of the most genuine, lovely human beings in the world. That she is part of his family, gets along with his daughters, everything like this. And there's those little moments where Darren almost had to put the foot down and wave a finger and almost rouse on Halep.
Yeah.
And she said, I needed that at that time. And I think great coaches, they look at their players and they adapt to what the player needs at that particular time. They're not just a one-trick pony. And I think that's what makes a great relationship. Would you agree?
Totally agree. And I think there's a component of that too, where you're not giving the player what they want. You need to give the player what they need.
Yeah.
And that shows you care more about them as a person as well as them as a player. And that's a big deal. And I think players' health, you've got to think of these guys and girls traveling around the world by themselves. They need that support big time.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes back to the player as well, because if you have a player who has quite a large ego and can't handle being told that, hey, they probably shouldn't have done something one particular way, and then the coach and the player split ways, 9 times out of 10, I would say that that's more the players not being able to handle their own situation. Because coaches are always trying to get the best out of their player, and I think great players understand that they're hiring a coach for a reason. You can't do everything yourself. Everyone's got a great team around them. But talking more so about the coaching scene for players like, so for coaches like myself and you who coach at that grassroots level, the red ball, things like this, what would you say are probably maybe 1 or 2 key things that you believe a good coach has to have as a quality for it to be successful?
I think you need to be creative. I think you need to be energetic. I think you need to understand the big picture of what you're actually coaching the kid for. It's important to understand what tennis and sport in general is about for them at that level, because out of all these players you're coaching in your grassroots level, how many are going to be professional players? Well, I'm hoping as many as possible, because that's their dreams, I guess, but in reality it's quite tough. So tennis is a sport for life. So I always try and teach it to a point where they enjoy it, they're having fun, they're challenged, they have a great sense of community, looking after the kids and their fellow classmates, and they're always sort of enjoying their environment in that area. So I think those are the 3 key things for me that make sport coaching at the grassroots level really important.
Couldn't agree more. And if you've ever wondered on how to be more creative, you just got to think outside the box. So myself, Rez, Matt and Buster, the entire Get Set Tennis team, we took a trip to Bunnings Warehouse with $50 in our pocket and had a little competition to see who could come up with the most creative coaching equipment on a budget. Please enjoy. Okay, the rules are simple. We have a $50 limit to buy as many creative coaching aids at Bunnings as possible. We're going to do a scissors, paper, rock to see who can shop in the front half of the store and who can shop in the back half of the store. Buster will be on my team, Matt on Rez's team. Now let's see who spends their money the wisest. All right, so the boys are about to do scissors, paper, rock to see who gets to choose between the front and the back. Are you ready?
Scissors, paper, rock.
Yes!
Let's go to the front. That's all right.
Anyway, yeah, right. We got this.
We got this.
Let's go, boy. All right, so we didn't get to film anything inside because we actually got kicked. Well, not kicked out. We got told we would get kicked out because apparently we're not allowed to film for what purposes?
Commercial?
Commercial purposes. We've already done all our shopping. We've got our receipts. So you guys went under. So you got 42. What were we?
53.
53.
That's a definite penalty.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take this stuff back to the courts and we're going to do a breakdown. Matt and Rez are going to go through everything that they bought and how to use it. And then Buster and I are going to do it, but better. So you be the judge. Okay, guys, we're back down at Get Set Tennis headquarters here in Kaylene. Buster and I are going to go first, and we're going to show you everything that we bought at Bunnings to use as coaching aids for under $50.
Let's start it off.
Okay, perfect.
First thing we have is a plastic funnel. What that is going to be used for is our catching with our volleys or even at the back of the court. So
grab a tennis ball.
Tennis ball.
So you want to make sure that your kids are always tracking the ball in certain ways. Instead of just getting them to catch into their hands or into a cone, you get these little funnels. It holds probably one tennis ball. You can even probably throw it back out, sort of making sure that they push through that ball a little bit too. Super cheap. These are only $2.
Next, we have our, it looks like a pogo stick.
What is it?
It doesn't say on here what it is. I don't know what it's called.
It's a hose extension.
So it's a hose extension, but we're going to use it to help the kids learn how to balance the ball. It's very important with tennis that you have good balance. The ball will sit on top and you are able to walk back and forth, attempting to make sure the ball does not fall off, and then you can even pass it to your partner too.
Kids are always going to look for new and interesting ways. I'm sure we all do the egg and spoon race with that, but it's been done 100 times. You throw a few little things in here and increase the difficulty of them, the kids are going to go nuts for them, especially the hot shots division. So staying on the same sort of theme, this one's a little bit harder. We thought you could do the same thing and try and balance the ball. It hasn't got a frame around like a tennis racket, so there's no edges, so you constantly have to maneuver your arm and keep that racket flat. Or you could even play a little pogo game. Hey, this is pogo. Hey, you win, well done. These only $2 at Bunnings Warehouse.
It's one of my favorite ones, Nels. I love this idea. What this is here it's on the corner. It's a plywood angle bracket. We play a lovely game in tennis. It's called Red Pizza. So what we then do is this sits on the ground, and ideally you're going to roll the ball underneath the bracket and try and get it to your partner. Really helps with their aim, their accuracy, and also making sure the ball is rolled straight so their contact point is in front of them.
Having just a visual aid for them to aim for is going to increase their focus, and this bracket only a few bucks as well, so we're still saying the super cheap side of the coaching aids today. We also bought a small wheel. Now the reason we bought this wheel is to place on the end of the dowel to help kids learn the art of topspin. Sometimes using keywords like rolling, brushing, getting over the top of the ball, brushing up the back doesn't quite stick with them. They need to be able to feel what it actually feels like to hit a topspin ball. So if I have a red baller who's trying to develop topspin, I will get the wheel put on the end of the bit of dowel, and then if the wheel spins forward, it means that he is creating topspin rather than hitting the ball flat or undercut. This is a super simple one, guys. You can buy wheels. I think they're only about $3. The dowel's absolutely cheap as chips, $2 there. So you could get this, and it's also great for some private lessons, people who are starting to develop their skills and use topspin. So really, really encourage this one.
Absolutely. Now, what you're going to use this for is for kids or even for developing players to work on their volleys. Now, this really helps them. It's a very thin beam, so what it's going to work on is their visualization towards the ball. If they're not watching the ball, what they're going to do is they'll end up missing it because what they're using is so thin. So it really helps them make contact and also get their wood out in front, or their racket for that matter. Maybe not their wood.
Get someone to throw you a few volleys and see how well you can make contact with the ball with a very, very thin racket. Hey Buster, do you like Sesame Street?
I love Sesame Street.
Who's your favorite character?
Oscar the Grouch.
We've got a little pop-up in here, and you can get these for about $8 at Bunnings. To help kids work on their aim, you will get into partners. While one person is hitting, the other person will be standing inside the pop-up bin, just like Oscar the Grouch. They cannot move from outside of it. Your goal is to try and catch your partner's ball and then fill up your garbage bin full of tennis balls, or as Oscar calls it, a yummy lunch. Another thing I really like to do is I like to play lights out, where what you do is you put it over somebody, you spin them around a couple of times, walk.
I don't know where I'm going.
That's the whole point. Follow my voice. All right, our final piece of equipment that we bought from Bunnings is probably our cheapest one yet. If you go to the paint section, you can get a whole bunch of different colored cards with paint samples on it free. So go take a whole bunch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use these cards for a game we like to call Chase the Rainbow. So what happens is we have 7 different colored cards, which means there are 7 different type of shots you need to hit over to collect each card to complete your rainbow. What you do is you grab a couple of cheap buckets, 1 each, and every time your hot shot kid hits a shot over or into a certain section of the court, they collect that color, and then they have 1 extra color to add to their rainbow.
It's a perfect way, once again, bright colors really gets the kids involved, and also because they're racing, they want to be the first team finished to get that prize.
So there you have it, guys. That is our $50 challenge. We went slightly over budget with $53, but for $53, we've got a whole bunch of new coaching equipment that you can use with your hot shots and development players. So please let us know your thoughts and comments and which one you like the best. But for now, it's over to Rez and Matt to see what they've got.
Not bad from Nelson and Buster. Some really cool things there. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but we're going bigger. We're bringing the big boys out.
Out the back of the store, that's where all the big things hide, and that's where we went. So our first item we got here is something really simple. We got ourselves a caution flag. What we use it for is mainly for the serve, to develop racket speed for the serve. So this is more for the developed player, maybe the green ball player, or even the orange ball player who's more advanced, trying to help them create that extra bit of movement through the flag. It's quite a bit of resistance as it wiggles through. Matt also reckons you can use it for other shots.
You can also use it for the forehand, so really getting the swoosh on the forehand to follow over the shoulder, because if they come down here, it's not really much of a swoosh, so you really want to get up over the shoulder. Next item we have is a bit of bubble wrap.
We thought it'd be really great for footwork. So obviously you got to pop it on the bubble wrap to sort of keep your feet constantly moving, make lots of popping noises. Yep. So it's kind of a fun game to play with the kids. We've actually got a volley game later we're going to call Snap, Crackle and Pop. This costs about $5 to get this through.
Buckets.
They cost about
$3.
$3. And then we also got this little hooking system as well. So what we use this for is a ball toss machine. So what I'll do is I'll do the demo. I'll hold it up for you, Matt.
We thought that with the bucket and the hook, we could hook it up on the fence and train kids to have that ball toss nice and high into the bucket.
A couple of these, $3 each. This hook here was about $3 as well. Very simple and multifunctional, so you can hang different things on this as well. Caution tape, okay? Hot Shots and ANZ provide us with some awesome caution tape to create new nets. We've actually just got our own.
$2 or $3, yeah.
$2 or $3 for caution tape. Very simple. We even thought of a system again where you can actually create a line at the back here to force everyone to come forward. So instead of just creating nets with it, you can actually create zones where people can actually go through. That's the way to go. Hello.
And ironing board. So similar to what Nelson and Buster had with the top spin, we're going to angle this one around on the net, getting the ball on the ironing board and really swishing up and over to create that top spin sort of swing. This is about $19, $20 at Bunnings, so $20. Got to dip in the pockets a little bit, but very useful item to use.
Last but not least, this is our multicolored flag. Basically, it's a full single rope with flags all the way across. We've done a lot of height stuff before, I've seen it in the past, but we thought with a bit of a color system in between, creates a little bit of a target. We even thought it could be really cool, you add the colors, maybe create some cones on the side as sort of where the prizes are hiding under these color coordinated cones. So a really great way to sort of get the kids creating much more shape on their ground strokes and top spin.
Yeah, something a bit different there.
Absolutely. All right.
That's us.
We went big. Hope you liked it as well. Some really interesting stuff there we thought would be a little cool. But anyway, we'll see how it all goes on the court.
Cheers.
I tell you what, I never had that much fun at Bunnings. That was fantastic. Some of the stuff we came up with, especially you guys, was awesome.
Yeah, I think we get a little carried away sometimes looking fancy and looking flash and everything, but that flag, the flag thing you guys had,
as a colored target,
as a colored target's genius. And like the way I look at it now, it kind of reminds me of when you are a parent and you buy your child a $200 doll, and then he goes out and plays with a rock.
Yeah,
it kind of works like that. Like people are not so obsessed with what looks flashy. You've got to do things that are going to be fun, creative, and that people want to be a part of. And
there were some really cool things. Like I love the topspin wheel thing you did, and we had something similar with the ironing board. And those things are great. They were more biomechanical sort of development players, but the recreational games like the padlock and key thing we played, that was pretty cool. The ball toss tool was really cool, getting that ball toss in the bucket. Yeah, it was some awesome stuff. And I kind of enjoy, I enjoy it more when it's more creative and left field, out of the box, as we say.
Oh, definitely. Well, you saw a little bit of snippet of Buster there, and for those of you begging to see more of Buster, we did feel pretty bad. Yeah. We've been doing this show now, we've been doing a lot of filming over the last couple of months, and Buster was sort of in and out, and we felt bad he didn't get to do his own segment, so we decided to dedicate the very last episode of Brekkie Bites to Buster and what he eats on a regular basis. Please enjoy. And do not follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Brekkie Bites, and we're at episode 3. And we've got our best friend here, Mr. Buster Parker, everybody.
And before I get started, I just want to say that Buster is probably one of the toughest tennis players to beat in all the ACT, possibly New South Wales, even Australia. So I'm really intrigued to see what he has on offer, how he starts his day off.
What makes the talent tick.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot, guys. This is the quick and easy one when you don't have a lot of time and you need to get on the court quite quickly. First thing we need to do is we need to get our bowl out and we need to get the Cocoa Pops ready. Now, the big thing to remember is Cocoa Pops have a lot of protein in it and a lot of carbs to get you through your matches, and it'll really give you that energy you need to get through your 3 sets, especially when it goes, gets a bit hot. So first thing we do, we get our Cocoa Pops.
So your measuring technique is very accurate.
It's nice and full so that we have plenty of protein and carbs in that bowl. Now you're thinking, we probably need some colour in there, so some veggies or something that gives it a little bit more beautiful color. We just need to get some red Allen's frogs. These don't have a lot of sugar in them either, so they're really good. You just sprinkle them all around the bowl. You don't even worry too much about placement. I mean, they're all going to flow through anyway.
And Christian, if you buy a bag of tadpoles and let them sit overnight, will you have the same effect?
What about the green frogs?
So, what do we do? Just top this up with some milk?
Yeah, you would think that. You would think that, but no. If you have milk, you get very, very bloated, and you don't want that on the court.
That is
so
true. That is
we
true.
need to put something a little different in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Coke in there. You'll notice that it's Coke Zero, so there's no sugar. It'll give you real good energy, but you won't have that bloated feeling of having all that milk.
Yeah, of course.
So, you can see it does fit. Now, that's normal. For the folks at home, that is normal. It does happen.
It's like a volcano.
The frog's disintegrating.
And you need to mix it all in, because you want the frogs to sort of... Oops, sorry, I just spilled a bit there. We want it to sink in nice and...
Just show the viewers at home that little technique. You had a little roll of the boat action.
You get a nice different... You get a little bit of a tint. You can change... You can see the change of colour.
And I see the change. The Coke is actually disintegrating the cocoa colour.
Yes.
And turning them white.
So almost like he's bleached the Cocoa Pops with the Coca-Cola.
Together, this gives you protein, it gives you carbs, it gives you the right amount, just that little bit of sugar that you need to get through your matches. Give it a try, tell me what you think.
Oh, Rez, you're the cereal guy.
You know what? If it's good enough for Buster, it's good enough for me.
Did you get a frog in there?
Wow. The flavour really exploded in the mouth.
Maybe he's just not used to Cocoa Pops.
Oh yeah, feeling...
Just need to go to the bathroom, I assume.
Cool, awesome. So we'll just throw that over there. Always clean your bench as you go, guys. Otherwise, you're going to
just chuck stuff in the sink.
What are you, a houser? Come on, jeez. That's obviously your on-the-go breakfast. When you have time, you want to make a gourmet breakfast. What is your go-to meal that's going to help you perform at the highest of your ability?
You're in luck. Do you like croissants?
Love croissants.
Well, you'll be a little bit disappointed because it's not a croissant. It's the Aussie version of a croissant. We are going to grab 2 slices of white bread. Now, it's very important. Don't get the wholemeal stuff, right? It's got seeds and stuff in it. It's not very healthy for you.
Yeah, what are you?
What am I, a rabbit?
Really nice, clean cut white bread, okay?
Get rid of that one. We need another one. Sorry. I got lost in the moment there. We don't want this one because it would ruin the meal.
Makes your hair curl.
We've got 2 beautiful slices of white bread. We need to get some cheese on there. If you want to do this correctly for the Australian croissant, it needs to be plastic cheese. If you get the really fancy stuff, it doesn't melt properly.
Do you need any help?
We're going to get them all out, place them just on the bread. I try and go with at least minimum of 3. So we need to microwave it. Plastic cheese that we use is the best one we have, and the reason is it is so processed, so it doesn't stay in your body as long.
Is this going to be a good enough meltage?
That's perfect.
Is that melted enough?
Beautiful cheese have just locked in enough to make it stick. We're thinking now we need some protein on there, right? Cocktail frankfurts.
What is that string made of? I've always wondered.
So there's a bit of koala, kangaroo, dolphin. Believe it or not, within the string and within the meat, every single animal within Australia is in these meats. It gives you like an energy.
Kangaroo in that one.
So, what we then need to do, okay, is 3 lining up for our viewers. It'll look like this, okay?
Love it.
Now, for some people,
colourful.
not everybody, but for some people, this may be a little bit dry. Sour cream, and you just dollop it on right in the middle of where the frankfurts are. This is what I make every Sunday morning.
Well, you know what? If it works for you, it works for me.
Give it a try. It's really important to get it on your nose as well. That means you're really getting into it.
Delicious. Thank you so much, Buster. It's been a pleasure having you in the kitchen. Guys, this has been another episode of Brekkie Bites. We hope you've enjoyed it. But for right now, back to the boys in the studio. See you there. That was a lot of sour cream. Well, there you have it, team. How to catch diabetes 101. Poor little Buster Rez, he just doesn't quite understand nutrition, does he?
I'll tell you what, top player, top bloke, and top coach.
Yes, it is. Rez, it's getting to that time of the show. We're about to wrap up. It's also quite sad. This is our last episode of our first season, which is hopefully many seasons to come. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. We want to take this time to say thank you to everybody watching at home. We also want to say a big thank you to Jake Eames over at Latour. You might have noticed that we're wearing a lot of Latour gear throughout these episodes. It's an amazing tennis brand. He's done some incredible things. You've probably seen some pro players at the Open wearing this very Larry but very cool
comfortable.
Yeah, super comfy gear. We did have offers from Nike and Adidas, but we said no. Latour is the next best brand coming up. It's already the best brand at the moment, so you know, we don't want any of those swooshes or Adidas stripes. Rez, anyone you wanted to say thank you to?
I just want to say thank you to all the people who watched the show and took your time out of your day to come and see us be a little goofy and silly. Hopefully you got something out of it. This is our passion project and we really enjoy it. I did notice, Nelson, as well, you're wearing an interesting tennis culture shirt.
Yes, tennis culture.
What's that all about?
2020, Reds. Let's just say, watch this space. We've got a couple of exciting projects in the works. The tennis culture is one of them. But everyone, thank you so much. Even if it was just a quick like or a share, or you took a whole half hour to watch an episode, we want to say thank you so much. We've been blessed with so many amazing supporters around us, and we want to take this time to say thank you, and we'll be back very, very shortly. But for now, this is the final episode of Season 1 of the Get Set Show. This is Rez and Nelson signing out. Cheers.